How's it going, guys? Peshcats here again with the Phillip McKay,
Hey,
and we're going to be taking a look at the Kiznaiver TD since this does have a few relevant cards for playing the actual set. So we're going to be starting at the level zeros. So first glance, most notable card out of this bunch is the 0/0 Chidori. When it comes into play, ditch a climax to salvage a Kizuna character. And we also have 0/0 Clock Bond, Apple's style in the 0/0 Tenga. And we have a Global 500 Nico, which can kill a Bonder and rest herself to draw 2, drop 2. We have the Utah Bond, pay 1 to bond to vanilla counter and come into play, give power. We have a bunch of vanillas, and we have a 35 beater that can't side. So already at the level 0, we have some pretty interesting cards to take a look at. So Philip, what do you think of this batch of cards?
well, I'll start from the top left. I think the Global 500 Killer Bonda Rest Draw 2 Drop 2 is just trash. The 35 can't side. I'm actually running a 4 right now in my test build, but that's mainly because I don't have another beater, and also because I didn't have the 0/0 Hisomu. I think it's good though. It might actually end up in the main build in the same way that Toloveru still ran that 3500 Maya beater in the main build for a while. The Chidori, Common Play Climax, Ditch, Salvage. I'm actually running it 3, I think. I'm probably going to drop it down. I'm kind of skeptical about it because it's a deck where you want to have climaxes in hand. It's not fantastic on turn 1. It's not fantastic on turn 2. And usually by the time it's good, you kind of want to be holding stuff. And you've got so many ways to ditch climaxes in this deck. So I mean, it's not the best performing card in the deck that I'm running right now. I played it a lot more in like game 1 and game 2, and when I got to like game 9 and game 10, I was playing it 0 or 1 times per game. Because there's so many ways you can fix hand, and that's really what the function of this is. It's to fix hand. The salvaging thing, yeah, I mean, like we will see another card in this TD that can salvage. Apples, I don't know. Maybe this is playable. I don't know if this is playable, but maybe it's playable. It might actually be main deck playable. But I don't know. It depends what you want to do at level 1, and I'm not sure yet what you want to do at level 1 exactly.
Tenga at level 1 sounds pretty good though.
Tenga level 1 is pretty sexy. Not gonna lie. The 0/0 Yuta Bond. Yeah, I don't think you run the I don't think you run the 3K. So I don't think you run this.
I think
Unless of course
all the counter slots are going to level 3 counters pretty much.
Maybe you run a 2K. Like if there comes out with a vanilla 2K, or even a vanilla 1.5,
Yeah.
keep your fried chickens alive.
For the
I don't think
record,
you run it.
I predicted on a foreign post. I don't remember which one, but I predicted in the comments that this set would get a 1/0 2K or 1/0 1K, and then it gives an extra 1K if you have a bond on the field. So, just for the record, if that comes out, I predicted that.
Do you want to make a Vegemite bet about that?
Hell no, I don't.
Okay.
It was a prediction. I am not Lychee.
Alright. And yeah, I don't think you run the bond, even though I guess like because it's a bond, it also gives 1K. So like when you play it, you give 1K to something, then you like tap 2 and you do the Yuta thing, and you have like some mad power stacks or something. I don't think it's worth it.
I don't even think you need. I don't even think you need it for like the 1K buff because you just have so many other more relevant cards that can give 1K buff, like the 0/0. The two girls, I forget their
That's
name.
1500. Yeah.
Yeah, that gives 1500 on play, and it can give it to itself if you want
Yeah.
2K.
And it's also the condition for fried chicken, so that's good.
Yeah.
And I love how I'm saying the condition for fried chicken as if that's really what I should be. So I should be calling it katsu. And then there's vanillas, and vanillas are vanillas. So yeah, they're whatever.
Yeah. So most relevant card of the bunch, Chidori. Yes. Maybe Tenga.
3/5.
The 3/5.
Yeah.
Most relevant.
I think
card?
3/5 is more relevant.
All right. All right.
The Bonder is the 0/0. You can change the slide, yeah. But I think the 0/0 500 support, the thing that you kill a Bonder with, I think that's just a new player trap. It's not actually that good.
I feel like Utah is gonna make this card like a billion times more irrelevant.
Yeah, pretty much.
So now moving on to the one line. The climax combo isn't that relevant. I mean, like, you get to bounce an opponent's character. I would have liked it a lot more if you could bounce your own character. To be totally
Oh yeah,
honest.
of course.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome. It's like, oh, I'm gonna bounce a bonder, or whatever, and then like you attack with the bonder to suicide, and then you bounce the bonder back to your hand, and then next turn you just do it all over again. That would be sweet.
In a trial deck.
Hey, Fate UBW had a bounce your own card climax combo.
Yeah.
It did not have a bond. It did not have bonds, but it did have a bounce your own character climax combo, and I think
Maybe when I end up on the research and development team at Bushy Road, then you'll see something like that in a trial deck. But until then, we get this thing. It's so sad because it's such beautiful art as well. Like, look at that. Has nice hair, has glasses, has good personality. Where else have we seen that before?
I think is just the funniest part about this card is that like they just tacked on plus 500 at the end of it.
Yeah, as if that's relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, like as if you're gonna like actually use this combo to kill stuff as opposed to just like bounce whatever you're going to attack into anyway.
Yeah.
If you're lower.
Well, you can bounce back row, so.
This is true.
But it's not that.
It's
compared to the other Tenga,
it's a temporary solution. Like, the best thing you're gonna bounce with this realistically is probably Karen in a TP deck.
Or Yami.
Or yeah, actually Yami's pretty relevant.
Yeah. Moving on.
But I still don't think you run this.
Yeah.
All right. So next we have the Katsuhira, which is the one of.
Yep.
And that's a $2 card.
Hey.
Just checked. So it gets 1K whenever your other Kizuna character attacks. So if he attacks last, he's gonna be a 7K. 7K is a pretty nice number.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think potentially this warrants a slot in the main deck.
Okay, so far for like ones, we're looking at what, possibly this, definitely the Tenga.
Fried chicken bond.
Oh, the level 1 suicider?
Yeah, I think even if you don't run Chidori, which I think is a mistake, but even if you don't run Chidori, you still play that because it's a 1/0 bomb. It's like, okay, go ask a Guitari player if their Azusa was also a 1/0 bomb, how much better it would be.
That would be a really stupid card. Well,
yeah.
At the same time though, like if it was a level 1 bomb, then that would like take away the whole like I play my Azusa and then I bounce back my Azusa thing. So
yeah, sure. But this is it's potentially like if you need like a 9th or a 10th level 1. I don't know if you do, but if you do, that's probably what it is. I don't think there's anything else that takes that.
Okay, so next we have a 1/0 vanilla, which in any other circumstance would be completely boring, but this one is the bond target for the Clock Apples Tenga.
Yeah.
So I think the real question here is so I expressed my opinion on this versus the Clock Encore one in my in the first week video. But what's your opinion on this versus the Clock Encore?
I think you don't run either of them.
Okay, but like if you were to run one of them, which would you?
I run this because 65, like realistically, this is going to be 65, not 7K. 1065s are good. 107Ks that give Clock Encore a pretty and the deck thrives on denying advantage to your opponent, not giving them free outs. So, I mean, if I was gonna choose between bad and worse, this is bad, and the other one is worse.
Okay, and I think like what you said in the last video about the 1/0 Tenga, like, do you even really need the Clock Encore?
No, you don't.
Well, there you have it. And then we have a 1/1 Hisomu.
That's vanilla.
No one cares about that.
Yeah.
All right, level 2s.
Level 2s.
Okay, slide change, boys. Okay, so first we have 2/2 vanillas and 2/1 vanillas. Those are boring, but one of them is Gomonin, so that makes it a little bit less boring.
The weird satanic chicken thing.
We have the what actually is that?
I don't just move on.
All right, the 2/1 Hisomu. If you have 2 or more other Kizuna, which you should. He becomes an 8-5 clock encore. So we said about the 1-0, you probably don't need the clock encore. And to be honest, you probably don't even need level 2s. You probably just drop 3-2 Katsuhira at level 2.
Yeah, pretty much. Katsuhira is insane. It's better than any of this.
Yeah. We have the vanilla 3k punch, which we already addressed earlier.
Yeah.
Not really needed. If they get a free punch, then you probably just run that, and then you run level 3 counters.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which we haven't talked about yet, is the 2-1 Sonozaki, which is a level assist times 500. And on play, she has a discard bond to the 3-2 healer.
Mm-hmm. I actually think this is potentially in like those brackets that I do sometimes with the arrows when I really want to stress that I'm just memeing. This is potentially playable in the main deck. If you are worried, because Tenga is fat. Tenga is super fat on defense and offense. The rest of your board is not typically. So if you need a way to like oomph them over, this could be potentially playable. The other thing is it is a bond, and key thing about the Utah, the 0-0 Utah, Utah Zissar, whatever you want to call it, is it does trigger when you play a bond, not when you use a bond. So you can get the bond effect off playing this, and then obviously resting this doesn't do anything because it has no other effects. So that's the only reason I could potentially see playing this. If you value the bond effect in late game, then you would run this at 1 copy. If you don't value the bond effect in late game, I personally don't, because I think there's so many other ways that you can hand fix at that point. And you don't really need a hand fix anyway, because all you're digging for is events, and you can't get that off this anyway. If you don't value the bond, then you run your 4th copy of the 0-0 Hisomu. And yeah, I think it's interesting that it's got that little thing in there.
I think that's a pretty... I think just being able to proc the Utah effect off of this is pretty relevant, because when you're at that stage of the game, like, you're realistically not playing too many other bond characters. Like, okay, so I think the only other bond character that at that stage of the game you're reasonably playing is the stock Suicide or Nico in order to get your 3-2 Tenga.
I think you're also playing the 1-0 bomb to bond into Chidori's.
Okay. Oh yeah. That's also one that's
yeah. So what I've been doing is I've just been back rowing 1-0 bombs and getting Chidori's that way, which has been like my way of proccing the effect. I think this is potentially like another way of doing it. It's a bit more static. Like, once it's on the board, obviously you're not going to play over it. And this sort of is like looking for a more definite finish to the end game than what I'm playing, which is more attrition based. But yeah, I mean, it's something that's worth messing around with. Like, people should mess around with it. I might be running on 1 right now or something, but I'm getting rid of it when I put Hisomus in. So yeah, mess around with it. If you value that effect a lot, go for it.
Okay. Personally, for me, I'm still not completely sold on the Chidori, but then again, like, I haven't actually like tested with it or played with it at all. So,
okay. I'll sell it to you right now. Do you like healing 5 times in 1 turn?
That sounds like pretty good.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, I know I wasn't in the Chidori video, but I'll talk about Chidori, like why I think this is a super, super underrated card. And it's actually, the things that people think are bad about it are actually probably the best thing about it.
I feel like if you had to define the card, it would be like the card is misunderstood. I'm not currently the player that understands it yet. So yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's the Chidori if you want to put that up. But with the 3-2 Chidori, I think when you first of all, like, playing, it's such a cheap end game. Like, it's absurd being able to play these effectively 3-1 cards, and because you have so much advantage, it's fine. Plus, when you're in the end game, you obviously don't need to have you don't need to be playing cards every turn because you're running the bodyguard, so you're walling off that. The thing that's really, really good about this, terrible multiples. Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. I guess that's fair
this
enough.
was my initial evaluation for the record.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. The thing, I actually really, really like the pay 3 burn, and it's because on the backswing, your opponent is going to have an empty board. And this is because this is a deck where you're happy to just like deal 2 or 3 damage and then deal another 2 damage when you're at level 3. And you can be at level 3 for like 4 or 5 turns. So this is fine because like right when you get to the end, you can just be like, oh, okay, boom, take 1. And then that can just be it. Like that can be game. Like game is 3-6 or 3-5. Which is really, really actually kind of, there's not many decks out there that have on attack burns. Like obviously you can't hexproof, you can't money counter this and stuff like that. So it's actually super, super useful to just have like right at the end of the game with your last 3 stock, swing with this, pay 3, ping for 1.
I think if I had to give like a really solid like reason as to why this is great for the deck's endgame. So like let's say you have a 3-2 Tenga and your opponent crashes all their crap into it, then you're never, and they're at 3-6. You're never swinging for perfect unless you have this card.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's something really important because this set does get like your opponent does have an empty board all the time, and you can't like sure cancel burn is good, but just like swinging for 1 is and just pinging for 1 straight away is great. It's pretty much the way you need to look. The way that I think people should approach this card when they evaluate it is healing for 1 is really sexy, and like I think it's a persona card that it's like a 3-2, and if you discard the level 0 or something, then it's a 3-0 or something like that. And that card is super.
I think it's you sack. I think it's like a 3-2 Rize, and you sack a 0 Rize on your field, and
specific
it comes in
0. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a heal, and that's a crazy card. And I think this is sort of it's kind of a similar sort of thing. Like it's a super cheap heal. You loop it a ton, and the pay 3 burn is expensive, but pay 3 win game is not expensive. I think that's the key difference. Anyway, we'll move on to the other cards.
All right. So I think as long as we're here, we'll just like summarize it as like this deck focuses on attrition, and then this helps you get the little finishing push in the attrition.
Pretty much.
I guess would be the best
that's how I look at
way to describe it. And then someone in the comments is going to be like, if they're at 3-6, you just play Nico, and I'm just like, yeah, then you're running a really bad 1-0, and I don't think you should be running that really bad 1-0.
Also, enjoy your 10 stock 6 card combo.
Okay, that is like the most unrealistic thing like ever. So, but anyway, so we finished talking about the level 2s. So now we'll I'm gonna get rid of the Chidori slide because we don't need this anymore.
No.
Okay, so now we have the other red healer. It doesn't do much else besides heal.
Yeah, it's also a bond target. So I mean, maybe that's something that you enjoy. You enjoy having that way
I think that does bring the card up a little bit over like other TD healers.
Yeah, I just think that if I was asked to like pick a TD, like if I went into a TD tournament and they didn't have Haruhi, I would probably play Kiznaiver.
Haruhi had Trouble Girl in the TD, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
But I would probably play Kiznaiver TD because it's a super strong TD. It's really good for new players as well because Bond is like rarely explored in TDs. But I think it's a solid healer, but you've got Chidori, and I just don't think it's worth running this over Chidori. And you're also not going to be able to rest your back row because they're going to be rested anyway.
Yeah, for stuff like Utah or something.
Utah, exactly. Yep.
All right, so overall TD thoughts and stuff. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna re-pull up the whole thing here. Okay, does that fit? Oh wait, no, we forgot. We forgot actually.
Climaxes.
There's events and climaxes in this.
The event I want to talk about.
Okay, well now we'll talk about. Okay, so we need to compare this event to the 1-1 that we just went over in the other video. Okay, so this 1-0 event is you can't play it if you don't have any Kizna characters, and I think it's really stupid that this is the event of the two between this one and the 1-1. I think it's really stupid that this one is the one with the limitation on it.
Yeah.
Especially when this one has the downside.
Mm-hmm.
So salvage a character, doesn't have to be a Kizna character, but you need to have a Kizna character on stage. And then mill 1, and then if that card is a level 0, including climaxes, clock this card. So.
Yep. I actually I think this is actually better than the other one. Just for the reasons that I mentioned, that you want to be actually reversing stuff with. Yeah, okay. So based on the assumption that you're going to be running honkers or you're going to be running Tenga at level one, you're going to be reversing stuff, or at least you want to reverse stuff. You have the power to reverse stuff. Like power is a complete non-issue during your turn anyway. So I don't think you want to be killing stuff in front row. I don't think you want to be paying that stock because the deck is stock heavy at level three. It's very stock heavy. And
It's
this
stock
is
heavy.
free
It's stock heavy at level 2, isn't it? If assuming you're playing Katsuhira.
if you play. Yeah, if you play like double chicken, then you do have a lot of stock that goes out the window pretty quickly. Especially if you're playing for playing cost of bonds and stuff like that.
Right.
This is more viable than the 1-1 because it doesn't cost anything. It straight up pulls you stuff out of your waiting room, which is great. Gets you your Tengas. That's pretty much all I care. This might as well say salvage one Tenga, which is good because it has Tenga on it. And I don't think the clock, like the thing that you'll mill one if it's level zero, clock this, like great. You take a damage. People still play Forest of Giant Trees, right?
Yeah, but
And
the thing about that is that it's like actually, yeah, that's a pretty good reason. I was
yeah,
gonna say it's because it's search to drop one, but I mean like you end up evening out, I guess.
the thing is, in the context of the deck, search effect and draw effect is super super, like they're made weaker. Like search and draws are weaker and weaker and weaker the more of them that you have, and salvages are stronger because you don't have many searches. I mean, because you have a lot of searches and draws, you don't have many ways to salvage. And basically,
Right.
your waiting room is full on turn three anyway. So I think this just makes that a lot better. I don't know if I'd pay one
Mm.
for, for the same ability.
Okay, I will say two things about this card. The
Yeah.
first one is that Operation Tornado embarrasses the crap out of this card.
Oh yeah.
The second thing I will say is that if you do mill a zero and you clock this card,
Mm.
then that is one less miss on your Tenga.
One less miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. You're right. You are
Tenga
right.
hits
Yeah.
level 1 and higher, and then if you do end up clocking yourself with this card, then that means that you took a miss out of your deck. Kind of. Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it's okay.
Drop you off, you're going to drive.
I'll just try.
What? Shall I see?
Sorry about that. So the yeah, when it comes to yeah, look, it's okay. We'll talk about the climaxes briefly though. I wish the shot trigger was the Tenga wind trigger for the actual Tenga.
Oh, instead of a wind?
Yeah, I think that would have been
And
better.
because this has Tenga's like actual face on it.
Yep, instead of just like some memey thing.
Were you actually referring to both? Shot versus wind and the
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I would just swap it completely.
Okay.
I think it's a more beautiful looking climax. But I mean, a stock soul, yeah, stock souls are cool, I guess. I wish there was a stock soul effect in that was worth doing. Like if Katsu was a stock soul, would I like that? Yeah, I would like that. But alas,
I
it's
think
pretty good for
I
a
think
trial deck though.
gates are cool too though.
Yeah, gates are pretty cool. Gates are super like not seen nowadays because everyone's scared of anti-salvage. Fun fact, guys, no one plays anti-salvage except for Televeru.
Second fun fact: Katsuhira auto kills anti salvage, but you guys
Yep,
already knew that if you guys watch my videos.
every anti-salvage that is every anti-salvage. So
Sometimes you mill the level 1, you get to kill LB, so
ramen noodles.
that's fun.
It is just ramen noodles, man. It's instant. Bam. Win the game as soon as Katsu comes down, man.
All right, so
That's about all
are
I've got
we
to say about
so
this.
we're actually done now, right?
Yeah, we're actually done.
All right, so I'm gonna just throw up the oh man, throw up. Blech. I'm going to
Throw down.
throw out the full TD image real quick. Sorry for the logo, rip logo, or the top left box thingy. And here we
Yep,
have
Pepperoni
the
mascaroni. Yep.
full TD in
Yep.
all its glory.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick out like the the number one card reason that you would buy the TD, which would that be? Or if you had to pick out, like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 cards that are the main reasons to buy the TD.
It would be in order from top to bottom. The number 1 card I like the most from the TD is probably the 1-0 event.
Okay.
Then closely followed by the 105k plus 1k chicken, and then closely followed by the 3-5, and then a bit of a gap before the 2k salvage ditch.
Okay. I was gonna say something. Okay. So the 3-5 can't side though. That's tentative, assuming we don't get something better, right?
I don't think I really care about that. Why do I want to side at 0?
I mean, like, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to side outside of 0.
Oh, okay, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, sure. I think I would rather. Yeah, I would rather have a better beater. Like, if this set gets a runner, like, it's golden. Like, this set is nuts at that point. It doesn't need Ricky. It needs a runner.
If it gets runner, like, it's gonna be Hisomu, right?
Yeah, maybe actually. But if it does get a runner, this set is. Do you want to hear something crazy?
Yeah,
controversy? Do you want some controversy?
Go for it.
This deck with a runner is potentially the best deck in the game.
Okay. And this has been our Kiznaiver child deck review. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Peshcats here with the one and only Phillip McKay. You guys can check out his blog, MakeMarikaGreat. I'm gonna leave a link to his blog down in the description box, and then I'm gonna leave a link to his blog down in the description box, so you guys can go check that out. There's not really too much there, but for what it's worth, you guys can go and spend some time on that if you guys haven't already killed enough time here. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time. Phillip, you want to say bye?
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. What he said.